and welcome to today's new video. This time we are checking out the best budget speakers you can currently get for under $100, because in the last few days I tested so many very good speakers for under $100, including the Anker Soundcore Boost and the Orkay Eclipse, which both are really nice sounding speakers. So today we are going to compare it against some other older budget speakers like the Anker Premium and the VAVA-Voom 20, and we will take the JBL Flip 4 as a, reference, because it goes for about $100 or $140, depends where you live. So let's first start with the Anker Premium here. So I will simply hold it into the camera here. You can see, quite nice looking, but without the grill, it looks a bit broken. But overall it's a pretty, famous speaker, because it was, known for beating the Bose SoundLink Mini, which was, I think, more than 3 times the price back then. But now there are many better speakers, so now let's check out the frequency measurement of it. So you can see it doesn't really measure flat. Treble has a huge dip at about 7 kHz and then a huge boost before 16 kHz, so it doesn't really measure flat. Also mids and bass isn't really linear sounding at all. Next we have the VAVA-Voom 20 here. You can see this one, I think, looks a bit nicer than the Anker Premium, also feels a bit more premium. But also goes for the same amount of money, so $60. It has, again, like the Anker, 2 full range drivers and 2 passive radiators, but I think the drivers are a bit bigger. Like I said, it already goes for $60, and when taking a look at the measurement, you can see that it also measures a bit flatter than the Anker, but has some slight inconsistency with mid performance and a little treble peak, but you don't really notice this, so it is already much better than the Anker. Next we have the Anker Boost here, or the Soundcore Boost to be exact, and this should replace the Anker Premium. This goes for $70, so $10 more, but also looks a bit nicer, I think, and also has the Space Up feature built in, which then boosts really nice deep bass, and also sounds way nicer than the Anker Premium here. And when taking a look at this measurement, you can already see that it measures pretty flat, so almost a linear response, just some inconsistency in bass and mid-range performance, but otherwise it really measures very flat. And also with the bass boost, you only get a bass boost and not a strange upper bass hump at 250 Hz like many other companies do, even without a bass feature. So speaking of Beats or UE. And as the last speaker we have the new Orkay, whatever, Eclipse here. Also, looks pretty nice and is the cheapest from them, so it only goes for $50, but in my opinion it is the best sounding. It also has 2 drivers built in, so 2 full range drivers and 2 passive radiators, and when checking this measurement it even measures the flattest from all of them, so there's no bass boost, no treble boost, it measures almost nearly flat. Of course also my measurements aren't the best, Clavinet Junkie definitely makes better ones, but this is just to roughly show you how the speakers sound in theory, and in my opinion the Orkay is the best one here, then maybe the VAVA and the Anker, also of course the JBL Flip 4, but the worst of the budget speakers definitely is the Premium here, as it simply isn't, on point with the others. But now please put up your headphones and we will first compare, I think, the Anker Premium against the JBL Flip 4, and then we will, go up in sound. So next we will compare it against the VAVA-Voom 20, then the Anker Boost, and then the Orkay Eclipse. So please put up your headphones and enjoy the comparison. So first let's try out the Anker Premium and the JBL Flip 4. This time I selected one pop track with a lot of bass and dynamic range in it, and then we will also check out a jazz track with each speaker to see how well they can perform with, acoustic stuff. So first let's check out this pop track here, with the Anker playing first against the JBL Flip 4.
The morning lights up, crystal clear water, blue skies. It's you and me, the open road, the light beams fly by. Driving for 1,000 miles, there's nowhere else I wanna be. Here with you.
you can hear that the Anchor sounds quite a bit more hollow and simply less flat sounding than the JBL, despite having some nicer deep bass in my opinion. But overall bass and everything is comparable, but just that the JBL sounds a bit more right, a bit clearer. But now let's also check out my jazz track here. So the JBL really shines here. It really makes use of the treble boost. And this just sounds covered.
I'm thinking of you, babe, and it's playing on repeat. Well, I close my eyes a bit tighter. I'm gonna block the memories out. Oh, the night's getting lighter, and I'm feeling so worn out.
Yeah, so this simply couldn't quite compete with the JBL. Next, let's try out the Wah-Wah Voom 20. Many people forgot about it, but it actually is a very decent sounding speaker. Some time ago I even compared it against the JBL Charge 3 and it could really keep up because it sounds very natural. And now we are already paired up. Let's also select the right part from that other track right here. And let's now check out the Wah-Wah Voom 20 against the JBL Flip 4 here. And let's see which one sounds better. Volume isn't in sync.
The morning lights up, crystal clear water, blue skies. It's you and me, the open road, the light beams fly by.
Let's place it like this so it sounds clearer.
Driving for 1,000 miles, there's nowhere else I wanna be. Here with you, and you with me. Driving with you. Let me take you far from here. Driving with you. The whole world disappears. Driving with you. Let me take you far from here. Driving with you.
And due to the little peak from the Wah-Wah and the measurement, you can hear some slight, I don't know, sizzling treble, so was a bit, yeah, I don't know, less, I don't know, nice sounding, less harmonic sounding than the JBL, but still, any speaker will sound covered against the JBL simply because the Flip 4 has a big treble boost, which the others don't have, so don't take any speaker covered sounding here, it's just that the JBL sounds so super clear. So next, let's check out the jazz track again.
It's 5:45 in the morning and I can't get no sleep. Tossing and turning my head underneath the sheets. Feel like I'm gonna go crazy, watching minutes falling out of the clock. Well, my vision is hazy. Somebody help me, I want it to stop. Well, I did what the doctor told me. I still can't get no relief, no. Cause I'm thinking of you, babe, and it's playing on repeat. Well, I close my eyes a bit tighter. I'm gonna block the memories out. Oh, the night's getting lighter, and I'm feeling so worn out.
So overall, I would still prefer the JBL Flip 4. Also on max, it is a bit louder, also with more compression, because the Wah-Wah does not have any bass reduction, or it has bass reduction, but no really compression, so it sometimes can distort. But overall, I still like the JBL more, although the Wah-Wah sometimes might sound a bit bigger. But still, the JBL is the more useful speaker, also nicer battery life, also is a bit smaller, but of course more expensive. So next, let's check out the Anchor. For the pop track, I will turn on bass up, so we have a little bit more bass. Please don't wonder, this is an extreme amount of bass, and with the other track, we will turn off the bass up as it might sound a bit drowning.
The morning lights up, crystal clear
so they both are the total opposite. So the JBL rather has an emphasis on treble, and this one rather an emphasis on bass. If you disable bass up, it will sound a bit more linear than the JBL, but overall the JBL still is a bit more, I don't know, hi-fi sounding than the Anchor, as this simply is a, I don't know, speaker tuned for bass. But overall I would say turned off.
In the morning and I can't get no sleep. I'm tossing and turning my head underneath the sheets. Feel like I'm gonna go crazy, watching minutes falling out of the clock. Well, my vision is hazy. Somebody help me, I want to
This sounds way clearer,
well,
although bass isn't as nice.
I still can't get no relief, no. Cause I'm thinking of you, babe, and it's playing on repeat. Well, I close my eyes a bit tighter, block the memories out. Oh, the night's getting lighter, and I'm feeling so warm.
Everything sounded less clear with the Anchor here, even without the bass up feature. Yeah, so it doesn't sound as convincing with jazz music, but overall with pop music, the Anchor is, I think, the nicer speaker than the JBL, but you also have some other advantages. So you have this charging out feature here. It isn't fully waterproof, but at least splash proof, so it's okay for the rain or using outdoors. And it also doesn't have any open radiators, which also should protect it better when you are out and about, yeah. And now we will also check out the Orkey, Aoki, whatever Eclipse. And this one, like I said, is the cheapest one, so $50, and in my opinion the best one. This is the only problem. It has extremely loud welcome tones, which are very annoying. Just make them, I don't know, 90% softer, only some very soft, and then it already is fine, but no, they had to be this loud. So next, let's check out this pop track again, and this time with the Orkey playing against the JBL.
Crystal clear water, blue
Impressive
skies.
bass.
Maybe open road, the light beams fly by. Driving 40,000 miles, there's nowhere else I wanna be. Here with you, and you with me. Driving with you.
As you can hear, the JBL already sounded a bit tinny. This is not because the Orkey has a huge bass boost like the Anchor, but simply because it has more bass. And of course you're saying, yeah, the Orkey is much bigger, but at least it isn't as thick. Yeah, okay, it's a bit thinner than the JBL. It also is half the price, or even 3 times less the price, and it also, yeah, isn't as big without the grill. You cannot take it off, but when you hold it against the light, you can see only this big is the speaker, and you have, I don't know, air up there, so for this, you know, corner here, so it looks nice. So it's no square or something, but only this nice rounded here, nice rounded thing here. So without the grill it would be, I think, yeah, this high, so not that much different in size, but with this, of course, it's a bit bigger than the JBL. And because it's so special, I will next play another pop track, because you simply should hear how great the speaker can sound, even with a way more expensive speaker compared against it. So let's check it out here. Sounds even nicer. So you can hear that it simply overall sounds a bit bigger, a bit more mature, simply like a bigger, more expensive speaker, but in reality it actually is 3 times less the price, or yeah, two times less the price when you live in the US, because in Europe it is $140 and $50, and in the US it's $99 compared to $50. And it's simply super impressive because it isn't that much bigger. And also, yeah, looks pretty nice, so I don't know why it sounds so good. Next, let's also check out the jazz track to see how good they can perform in the acoustic stuff, and let's start with the orche. Also isn't very directional. Yeah. So, also nice dispersion.
It's 5:45 in the morning and I can't get no sleep. Tossing and turning my head underneath the sheets. Feel like I'm gonna go crazy, watching minutes falling out of the clock. Well, my vision is hate. Somebody help me, I wanted to stop. Well, I did what the doctor told me. I still can't get no relief, no. Cause I'm thinking of you, babe, and it's playing on repeat. Well, I close my eyes a bit tighter. I'm gonna block the memories out. Oh, the night's getting light.
I think I liked everything more with the orche, so bass was a bit nicer, treble wasn't as harsh. Only the mid seemed to sound a bit clearer on the JBL here, but I don't know how the real voice of the woman sounded. To me, the orche was even more realistic because the voice had more body to it, but maybe this woman who was singing had a really thin voice, so the JBL made it better, but we will never know because she doesn't sing live here. So overall, I think the the orche definitely is the better product here because it's less expensive. I think looks just as nice, also has the same good battery life, doesn't have charge out like the Anker, but the JBL doesn't have it either. So they are pretty comparable, just that the orche is 3 or 2 times less the price. It also can play louder than the JBL, but when you play very heavy tracks with a lot of bass kicks like my pop track here, you will get some volume dropping. So always when the bass drops, it will reduce the volume a bit. It isn't as bad as with the Bose, where it sounds like it was broken, but it's very hearable. The JBL doesn't do this, but also isn't as loud and, I don't know, doesn't keep as much bass. So overall, the orche is the king here in my opinion, because there's no other speaker in this class up to $130, which can say, yeah, I'm this much more expensive and I can also sound 3 times better than this orche here. No speaker can pass it when it comes to sound up to, I don't know, $120, $130. Of course, there are other speakers out there, like the Fugo Style S, which you can see back there, but even this won't sound better than the orche. Yeah, at least under 70%, because over 70% the Fugo Style S really shines, as it doesn't have that much bass reduction, and on max it is the loudest speaker in this class, but when it only comes to sound, the orche really, I don't know, is the king here. You can really, I don't know, order it and really have no regrets because it sounds so great. So I of course hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like or subscribe to the channel. Until then, have a great time and bye bye. As you can hear, the fucking card is full.